Good morning. So I want to tell you guys about how this designing a yo-yo project together is going to go, but I kind of want to get the set built up to film at. So let's get that ready and then we'll talk about it. Okay, much better. Now I'm happy to talk about Code Black. That's what we're going to be calling this project. That's what we're working on the Patreon page, designing this new yo-yo. Now, I've done multiple community group designed projects. And each time I kind of learn a little bit, get a little bit better, and kind of learned that if I have some freedom to take the project and control it a little bit outside of what everybody's saying numbers-wise, in the direction that I know it's going to make it a better yo-yo, it works out a lot. So obviously I'm going to continue to give myself that freedom in this, and I want to describe the process here that we're going to try for this one. I'm kind of excited for how it's going to work, but let me break it down to you first. Quick rundown. We are going to go diameter, width, material, weight, and then I'm going to draw a few designs based on those specs, not giving me a shape. And then once you guys decide one of those designs, we'll move on to the moment of inertia. Okay, most of those are pretty self-explanatory. I kind of put them in a order that makes sense, and I'm going to lay it out for you. Diameter we're going to start with, then width. And the reason that this works well is after we get the diameter of the yo-yo, we can decide if we want a slimline, normal, or a wide yo-yo. For the most part, 75% width to diameter ratio is pretty normal. Once you start to get wider than that, you can run into some pulse vibe issues depending on the diameter. That comes into play as well. Bigger diameter, you can kind of push that 75%. But anyway, 75% is pretty standard. So we'll know normal or wide or thin. And then we'll move into weight. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then material, whether we want to do 6061, 7068, whatever we want. Bimetal. By the time we get these, I should have a pretty good idea on what type of yo-yo we're building, whether it's quirky or competition-based or all-arounder. And at that point, I'm going to draw multiple designs. Yes, we haven't voted on shape or anything at this point. And I'm just going to draw multiple designs that I think fit the idea of this yo-yo. Just rough designs. And we'll pick which design shape we like the best, and I'll move it into the next phase. MOI, moment of inertia. It's not necessarily a perfect value to use in yo-yo, but I'm going to explain what it means in our project. MOI kind of describes whether we want a center weighted or more mid weighted or more rim weighted yo-yo. Think of a tire. The tire spins on a center point. The more rim weight this tire has, the harder it is to start and to stop the tire. And that kind of comes into play with yo-yo as well. So when a yo-yo gets too much rim weight, too much MOI, too high of a value, whatever you want to call it, you throw the yo-yo down, but it ends up behind you when it unrolls because it's too hard to get that yo-yo up to speed. So that's where you kind of get kicked back. And also a little bit the size of the diameter can matter in the pad and whatnot. But with that MOI, again, easier to start for more center weighted, also easier to stop, so you lose that spin time. So that's kind of what we're going to get to at that point. We've got the rough design, then I'm going to adjust it to the type of play we want, whether we want center weighted, mid weighted, rim weighted. Most likely it's going to be where do we want it between overly rim weighted and mid weighted kind of deal, or if we just want evenly weighted throughout, maybe that's what we want, an extra floaty yo-yo. Kind of just depends when we get to that point. But at that point, then I'll take the design and fit it into where we want the weighting to be, and either prototype a couple different versions of the same design, or we'll just move on from there at that point. That's the last step, is kind of getting the design to fit the weight distribution that we want. Very much so the biggest impact on the play of the yo-yo overall. So that's what we're doing. Code Black, starting today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. I forgot to mention, this is on our Patreon page. So if you want to participate in designing this yo-yo in Code Black, hop on the Patreon. I guess you might want a little bit, why Code Black? The idea here is all the prototypes are going to be black, and then anybody that wants one is going to be able to get one of the different versions. They'll be engraved with the versions, and then that person's whatever they want, their online tag, their name, something that represents that person. So each tester that wants to participate will get it engraved with some sort of, what's the word for a name? Some sort of name on it. I can't think of the other name. What is it? Tell me.